On a previous vlog in Vegas, I mentioned my history with coming down here to play in the World Series of Poker for the first time in 2010. It was my first event, a 1K that I busted just before the bubble. At the time, busting out hurt. But as time goes by, I'm starting to consider it a blessing in disguise. I say that because of what I have learned since then. There's a poker pro in LA, who I will not name, but he has made over $1 million in profit playing cash games over the years. Every year he plays multiple World Series of Poker events. And he has gone on record of saying that in his lifetime, he is a loser in tournaments overall. Another pro who I talked to lately who rarely plays cash games and has nearly $1 million in lifetime earnings tells me he thinks he's a slight winner. If both of these guys, who are full-time poker pros, have struggled this much making money long-term in tournaments, then what business do I have in trying to do it? That's why that I've decided I'm glad that I failed to cash in that WSOP years ago. Because it would have likely resulted in me continuing to play more events. And while I do aspire to play specifically and only the main event, you are very unlikely to find me in any tournaments anytime soon. I'm not saying that you shouldn't play them if you have the time and do enjoy them. But I believe there is much more skill in cash game poker with the ability to play all 5 streets every hand. But more importantly, it's the opportunity cost, or what you miss out on by taking the time to play in tournaments, that is just too damn high for me. All right, let's go and, well, I was gonna say kick some ass in this meetup game, but, you know, these are viewers of the vlog. I don't know if saying kick some ass is the right thing to say. Let's play some good poker, though, here.
I think. Can we do flips?
Where is she now? She's making sure she gets commissary, right? She's not in jail, right? She's like out.
The documentary just ended. It gave me no.
All right, about an hour and a half, 2 hours actually, into the meetup game here at Encore. Full table going well. One interesting hand happened early on when we got a limp in the hijack, and again we're playing 1-3. Probably the first time we're playing 1-3 on this vlog, but nice fun environment. We get a limp in the hijack, and I'm on the button. Pocket jacks. I make it 16. Folds back around to the hijack, and he makes the call. The flop comes 9-4-3 with 2 clubs. Pretty good flop for me. Hijack checks, and I bet 30. He doesn't think too long before making the call. The turn comes an offsuit 4. Another good card for me. He checks, I bet 75, and he makes the call. The river comes an offsuit 3. So front door flush does not get there. And I'm thinking about how much I'm gonna bet. Instead, he bets for me. He bets 195, which definitely surprised me. I put him on a draw pretty much this whole hand, and the draws didn't get there. I could not see how he would call me on the flop with just a 4 or just a 3. Didn't make any sense to me. So I decided this is probably a bluff, unless he has a massive hand. I make the call, and he shows pocket 7s. So I get one there early on in the meetup game, and I'm up a couple hundred right now. It's a really good game, really fun game, I should say, with viewers of my vlog and Jeff Boski's vlog. We got James, we got Andrew, we got Joe, we had Jim earlier, Sandra,
Not running for the gate.
Dennis, Steve, and my buddy Dave. So fun lineup here at Encore. All right, the meetup game is a wrap. And now we're getting some late night tacos El Gordo. See how this goes. Apparently the lines in tacos El Gordo have been an issue. So let's see how it is now. What do you recommend here, Jeff? Tacos El Gordo.
Never been here, but I've been to similar places. It's all fresh. It's all carved right off the meat thing there. All the ingredients are fresh. A lot of wild shit like beef tongue. Watch out for that. You might
Beef tongue.
beef tongue, and it's one of these words you don't know, like vampiro or sopes. You don't really know what you're ordering, but I can tell you, Mulas is like a super taco filled with like cheese and all these taco. Just remember, taco with steak, beef tongue, beef brain, sesos, beef brain. Yep, get a video of that.
All right, so what are we eating here?
Just chicken.
It might taste like chicken, but all right. So Jeff has said we have to try this, and I'm a little bit hesitant about it, but I believe this is actually beef brains. That's what we're looking at right here. I think that's what's going on. So I don't know how I feel about it. All right, so I can't say I'm gonna have another one, but for brains, it wasn't bad. We'll say that. As Jeff's gonna try it out right now. He's gonna give a rating on this on his blog. That I am sure of. Yeah, so not the tastiest, but it could be worse. All right, it is a Tuesday morning following a Monday night meetup game at Encore last night. We ended up getting a full table, me and Jeff Boski, my buddy Dave, and some others that showed up from watching Boski's vlog and this vlog, so it ended up being cool. You know, it wasn't a situation where we had 10 tables or anything, but the first meetup game that I've been involved in, and it ended up being fun. The Encore even gave us some shirts and stuff to throw into bomb pots or splash pots, I guess, if you will. In fact, I think I even have some video of that. That ended up being fun. We would, everyone would put 10 bucks in the pot and we would just run it.
All right.
And, throw in a shirt in there as well. Did that every hour, so that ended up being fun. As far as some hands from this meetup game, a few interesting ones. Under the gun +1 limps, I have ace king of clubs. I raised to 12. Jeff Boski on the button makes the call. One other person calls. In the big blind pot is 48 bucks, and it comes ace king 8 all spades. So I flop top 2, but it's a monotone board. Gets checked to me. I bet 30. Boski folds, but the big blind calls. I'm certainly hoping for no spade on the turn. Comes the 7 of diamonds. Under the gun +1 checks. I bet 80, and he folds. He shows the jack of spades. So he had a minimum the second nut flush draw, but he decided to give it up when I bet that 80 bucks on the turn. I open ace queen to 10, get 3 callers. Flop is queen jack deuce with 2 clubs. I bet 30 and I get a call from the button. Turn comes a jack, pairing the jack. I bet 60, thinking that he's probably not calling me with second pair too often, but if he is, I'm just going to be bet folding. I bet 60 and he folds. I ended up losing about 150 on a hand where I had called a raise with pocket jacks. Flop came 8, 9, 10. And I ended up being up against 6, 7. So that's basically the long and short of that hand. Let's see here. I think the last interesting hand I had came when under the gun raises to 15. Under the gun plus 2 calls. And I'm in the low jack with king, queen of diamonds. I make the call, the cutoff calls, and the button calls. So a vast multi-way pot here of about 75 bucks in a 1-3 game. The flop comes highly above average for king, queen, and diamonds. Comes 9, 7, 6, all diamonds. Now the original raiser under the gun here is first to act, and she shoves it all in. I obviously snap call, and everyone else folds. She shows pocket aces with the ace of diamonds. So I need to fade a diamond to win this thing, and I do fade that diamond. So end up taking that one down. And booked a win, at the win, of $261 in a 1-3 game. So my first ever 1-3 shot on this vlog ends up working out quite well. All right, wrapping up day 2 here at the Win. The whole day kind of started off on the wrong foot for me when there was a really aggressive player in the game and he had limped in late position. I'm in the big blind with Jack 4 offsuit. Flop comes 10, 7, 4 rainbow. I check. This aggressive player bets out 15 and I peel one off. Everyone else folds. Turn comes a jack, the jack of clubs. I bet out for 45 and he raises me to 220. I'm definitely not folding. Question is, should I re-raise? Ultimately, I decide not to. Just make the call, hoping for a clean river, which I certainly don't get. I get the single worst card in the deck. I could not hand pick a worse river card. The 7 of clubs hits. I check, and he bets 600. And I was so just angered by the fact that that single worst card in the deck had come that I didn't even really think it through much in terms of what I could put this guy on. I certainly don't think he's shoving all in here with just a jack. But I did think there were some draws he could have, certainly flush draws that came in on the turn that now are there, so I just kind of quickly folded. And he showed the Octo Crab, 8-3. If you're a fan of this vlog, you know that I have traditionally not run well against the Octo Crab. So that's how things started off today, getting stuck early on a spot where I should have just shoved all in on the turn. Or obviously called the river. All right, before we leave town, I've been told I had to check this place out. The Bagel Cafe in North Las Vegas.